more person to let in. Okay. So please just sit comfortably. And if you're sitting in your chair, maybe let your feet to the floor and let your palms either in your lap or on your thighs, palms down. Just take a couple deep breaths to get yourself here, remind you that you're here in this call, this is what we're doing. And then when you feel okay with it, close your eyes. And just feel what you can feel. And this is an excellent way when you're feeling sort of out of control or you're feeling stressed or you're feeling triggered. This simple practice of just feeling your body, because often we feel an emotion in a specific place for us. So it might be like in the pit of the stomach, in the chest, in the head. So just notice the other parts of your body that feel okay right now. So maybe you feel your feet on the floor. Maybe you feel your legs feel good. Notice the parts of your legs that are touching the chair. Notice the parts of your back that are touching the chair. Just notice. And with eyes closed and mouth closed, start to breathe in and out through your nose there. And just keep breathing as you listen, but I'm just going to explain. So in a moment, I will count you through the breath. So to my count, you will inhale for a count of 4. You'll hold the breath for a count of 4. And then you'll exhale out your nose for a count of 4 and hold the breath out for a count of 4. If that doesn't feel good for some reason or it makes you feel more anxious, then just try to keep your eyes closed and just breathe. As long as you're breathing, that's what's really important here. Okay? So take a nice big breath in. And then just exhale, sigh the air out. And then through your nose, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. And then just breathe naturally. Keep your eyes closed. Don't feel the need to open your eyes or move just yet. Notice your heart rate, your pace of breath. Notice what emotions you're feeling right now after that. And keep your eyes closed. Maybe you can name the emotion. Maybe you can share it with us in a minute, or maybe you can just write it down for yourself. And then just look down to adjust to the light and then slowly open your eyes again. Hi, Mandy.
Hello.
Hey. So we were just doing a breathing exercise, Mandy. I'm sure you figured that out. So Jill and Lisa, how do you feel after that?
Good, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Lisa, how do you feel?
Tired.
Yeah.
More relaxed.
But relaxed, yeah. Did any emotions come up for either of you that you want to share? You don't have to.
I think fear. Weirdly.
Fear. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that fear about?
There's so many things, I think. It's just the world the way it is right now, my job the way it is right now, like everything. I'm just kind of sitting back going, what's going on?
Yeah.
Just processing, and it's taking time to process.
Yeah. And good for you that you're processing and feeling safe about it, because that's what we need to do, right? I feel like, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but I think the last call we had was 2 weeks ago, the last group call, and this was sort of just starting, and it felt really acute, and now it's almost like we've gotten panic fatigue, you know, and we're still scared, but it feels different. So yeah, so I want to talk about that. So, but first, Jill is newish here, and Mandy I haven't seen for a while. She just disappeared. So Jill, do you just want to tell Lisa kind of who you are and what you're doing here?
Oh, sure. So I'm Jill. I'm married with 4 children.
Sorry, how many kids?
4 fur children.
4 children, okay.
Yeah.
I get that.
Are they all
Yeah.
cats? Do you have 4 cats?
Pardon?
Are they all cats? Do you have 4 cats?
No, 2 cats and 2 sugar gliders.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. I feel like I knew that somewhere back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a sugar glider?
It's like it's almost like a flying squirrel, but it's a marsupial.
That's so cool.
So yeah, they're super cute. My husband really wanted them, and caught me in a weak point, and I said yes. But yeah, I'm a full-time pharmaceutical sales rep, so this has been interesting working from home, because usually I'm on the road every day. And the reason I asked Anne for some help was because I just felt like I needed some guidance with like my eating and just kind of feeling more confident about myself, as well as developing some extra at-home plans to do, because I do work out during the week, but I want to do more. So it's just easier to do them at home. And it's been going really well now that it's like forced working out at home, but it's been going well. So that's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Jill. Mandy and Michelle, Jill was just introducing herself there because she's new here. So I've been like talking to you guys privately and also seeing you talk in the group. So I think the vibe I'm getting, the climate, is that we're all a little bit freaked out and we feel like we should be doing a lot of things. So I'd like to talk about that. And if you guys are okay with that, I feel like we all have something to say about it. So maybe we'll just go around. So Jill, I just made you talk, so I won't make you talk again. But Lisa, you said that some fear came up for you when you're doing that breathing exercise, which is totally normal, by the way. And you kind of touched on it. But so what is the fear about?
I think it's just so much change so quickly. And I'm not great with change anyways, so it's all this change all the time, and it's just every aspect of the life, right? Except for like my personal life at home. Thankfully, I have like 2 kids at home, and my husband, well, 2 over 20-year-old kids, but they're still at home with me, so I'm not alone. But my work, like how am I supposed to do my job, and all that kind of stuff is like just up in the air at the moment. It's like we're just remaking things.
Totally.
So
And so I think it's normal. We're all grieving, like, let's be really honest, because regardless of whether we're working at home or we're not working or it looks different, we're grieving for our normal lives, right? Our normal lives are gone as we know it. There's something for all of us. So so Lisa, you mentioned like you have some fear about your job being up in the air. I'll just Lisa is an educational assistant. So Lisa, you are like kind of working, or you might be going back to work, or what?
I'm working from home, believe it or not.
Okay. With a child?
With we're not allowed to obviously see the kids, like go to their houses or anything like that. They're not allowed to come to the school. So everything is online at the moment. So, and we're kind of like, because everything is kind of limbo-ish. Like we're, as EAs, just starting to get into the picture now, even though the teachers were setting up everything last week and contacted the parents. Now we're just starting to do something. So my job right now is just getting some resources together for my student, and we kind of can maybe talk face-to-face once a week kind of thing is all that we've been advised to do. And even then we need a permission form, and it's all these legalities and all that kind of stuff that I'm like, how can I do my job if I can't see my student? So it's a complete revamp of my role. So what I'm going to be doing supporting her is something completely different than what it's looked like before in the past.
Yeah. And does that feel okay for you, or?
Well, it has to.
Yeah, yes. And and I love that you said that, because it's like that for everything, right? We are being forced to adapt in all different ways. So, but I'm kind of getting the sense the uncertainty doesn't feel good to you.
No, but I don't think uncertainty ever feels good for anybody.
Yeah, true. But I mean, we have uncertainty about certain things all the time. We're really not in control of anything. So we can lean into it or we can resist it hard. And it's going to feel different depending on what we choose. Do you know what I mean?
Well, at work, I'm generally go with the flow to a certain extent. This is a little bit more going with the flow than I'm used to.
I hear you.
But I'm just adapting. And, like I can try to control certain aspects of my life, and other ones I have to kind of let go with and just kind of go. Just like, okay, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's right. Can anyone else relate to that? Anik, yeah. Anik, how you doing?
I'm in that same boat. Yeah. Totally. We do the same job, I think, Lisa. I think.
Yeah.
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 And we're in the complete unknown. Our job is to be with the kids closely and work with them all the time. Well, not closely, but doing their things that they need to do and being their support. And now all of a sudden that has to be with a screen in between somehow, or however that would look, and sending materials or doing all that stuff. but it's completely different and it feels kind of useless right now. Like I feel useless. I don't feel like I'm contributing, and that's a really big part of my world when that's part of my job, is why I love my job, is because I feel like I was helping and being a person and
Being a person, and
well, not being a person, not tied to my job, but that's part of my world, right? And one of my realms is being part of being in that person. That's what I enjoy doing and how I feel fulfilled, and part of it, not the whole thing. My whole world isn't my job, don't get me wrong, but I do, it is a big part of it.
yeah, and a huge part of your of all of our identities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to have to change that completely, and then we're also in the boat. I don't know. I work in Langley, but Surrey I think is a bit different. I don't know, different districts, but we're not getting a lot of direction from what's supposed to look. Which I don't think they even know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to have uncertainty already, and then having the uncertainty come from people that are supposed to know what they're supposed to do. It's a lot of uncertainty. So
Yeah.
So
I want to talk about that purpose piece and that feeling useless piece, because I totally relate, and I feel like everyone else as well. But do you guys mind if I just disclose like all of your jobs? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
It seems relevant. So Lisa and Anik are both educational assistants, and Mandy's a vet, and Michelle is an esthetician / trainer of estheticians, and Jill is a pharmaceutical rep who's usually on the road. And I know you guys know I do this, but I'm also a massage therapist, and I yoga in real life. So all of us are affected in different ways, right? Like Jill's used to travel. There's no travel. Michelle and myself and Mandy are used to like touching creatures, and Anik and Lisa, your job is to work with children who are now isolated from other children and adults. And I would assume, probably same with all of the rest of you, that a large part of your training for your job is learning like how interpersonally to deal with kids and people and animals, right? And that's gone. So we're all like we're all babies and we're relearning how to do things again. So I think there's some comfort in knowing that we're all in the same boat. We're all in this together, right? Nobody knows what they're doing. And I think everyone's feeling a little bit of loss of purpose, either because of work or social stuff. So Anik, I know you mentioned like you're feeling a little bit useless. Is that strictly work-wise or personally as well, or?
Personally as well, because I feel like if I'm home, because I'm home now, I should be doing a lot of stuff, and I really don't feel motivated some days, or I don't feel. And then somewhere that they're not taking donations, so it's not like I can turn around and clean my house because they can't put it anywhere. And then really honestly, some days I just don't have the energy or the time, and I have the time, I just don't have the energy or the mental capacity to just get up and go. And I mean, I have two kids at home and one away, and my two kids at home, they're now doing schoolwork, so I'm trying to wrap my brain around that, which is a whole different can of worms. Though I'm some sort of an educator, it's a whole different can of worms teaching your own kids. So yeah, there's a lot of I feel like I should be more productive. And I don't know, I'm learning really letting it go a little bit, but it's some days I struggle with it harder and more with it than other days. And today is definitely, today was okay, but like the weekend was definitely one of those days where I was like, oh, I really wish I could do more. But it's that conundrum right now, right? Like you have the time, but
not necessarily the energy, right?
Yes.
Our energy is displaced, and I think that's normal. So there's a couple things I want to talk about there, but let's stay on the being productive piece. Is anyone else feeling okay? Actually, before I say that, Anik, I want to say I love your self-awareness because I know you catch yourself every time you have like a should statement. Love it, gotta love it. Okay, so can anyone else relate to this like not being productive enough piece? Yeah. Jill, what do you got to say about that?
Yeah. Because like I'm still working, but to contact, first of all, I'm mostly a rep for ophthalmologists and optometrists. So they're on like reduced hours. So like when you phone them now, they're like, why are you phoning? Like, so I do like my calls that I have to do for the day. And then it's like, okay, that was very unproductive. what do I do now? And then they keep giving you these like stupid make work projects, which are really, they're make work projects. So I don't like those. I want to do something meaningful rather than just update stuff. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I feel that. Okay. I want to hear from everyone before we really get into this. So, Mandy, okay, first of all, Mandy, you were sick, right?
Yeah, I've been in quarantine for the past 3.5 weeks now.
Do you know, are you coronavirus sick or you're not sure?
They won't test us because our symptoms aren't bad enough, but
Right.
our doctor said that we took off all the boxes, so he's fairly certain.
Okay. And so how are you doing?
I feel like I'm letting my work down because I can't be there, but they're very supportive, which I appreciate. They basically told me as long as I need to be off, they'll cover for me. It's a bit hard because we don't get sick pay or anything through there, and I just bought a house, but I think that we're doing okay because we're pretty good savers, so we got some stuff done up. In terms of productivity, I'm trying to be productive. I'm trying to do online CE. I'm actually doing pretty well learning the ukulele, which is not productive, but it's
Why is
fun.
that not productive? Why is that not productive?
Like it's not furthering my career or something like that, but it's a fun thing for me to do while I've got all this free time. So yeah.
So let's riff off that little ukulele pun. So what does it mean to be productive? What does that mean?
I guess it's just general improvements, right? Like whether it's to your house, to yourself, to your life in general.
Okay. And what is the benefit of that?
Ooh.
Or if we phrase it another way, so you said it's a benefit to an improvement to your life or your lifestyle. So you said you're enjoying playing the ukulele, so is that not to your life if you're getting enjoyment from it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I guess I'm just beating up on myself because I haven't been doing my online CE as much as I should, and I shouldn't be beating up on myself when, it's not exactly normal times. So
It's not normal times, and I think time management, I've been hearing from a lot of my clients too, time management is a struggle because the schedule is gone. And for those of us who thrive on schedules, there's no schedule, but we have to create it. And for those of us who hate schedules, it's a struggle to create your own schedule and enforce it, right? Or anyone who struggles with motivating themselves to work out, it's the same thing because you have to create your own structure. So I think we have to give ourselves a lot of grace. Even if we weren't in this COVID situation and you were at home telling me that you were sick and you couldn't go to work, oh my God, don't go to work if you're sick. Don't do it. Don't go to work if you're sick, and don't feel bad about it. Like, I think you know that, right?
yes, but in my business, it's very much if you're sick, unless you're dying, you go in. Like I went in when I lost my voice and I had someone speaking for me the entire time. It's not the sort of job that you can miss generally.
I get it, right? Because it's like healthcare. I get it. But
Yeah.
This is a situation where we don't want you to go.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you to do that. So there's no reason that you should feel not confident about your decision to be at home, right? There's no reason.
No, and I know that I'm doing the better good by staying home, not infecting people and stuff like that. It's definitely the right call.
Yeah.
I just feel guilty that I'm still sick.
Right. So I think there's something to explore there, right? And we don't necessarily have to do it right now, but I think we're all feeling that. Like I'm hearing that we're all feeling that guilt over something. And I think it's not really fair. We're not really being fair to ourselves. We didn't ask for this. Well, actually, in my sort of spiritual mind, I think in some way we did ask for this. And we didn't get it. But you know what I mean? Like this is not your fault. And I think we need to cut ourselves some slack. Like, listen to everything you guys just said. You're grieving your normal lives. You're missing your friends. You're stuck at home. You don't know how to do your job, or you're not doing your job, or you're doing your job and it feels weird. Like, any one of those things alone we would consider like a life change and trauma, right? So I think, but we're not treating it as if we're really going through something and giving ourselves a little bit of grace. You know what I mean? So compassion, self-compassion is important.
Yes.
Yes. And just to talk, Michelle, let's go to you. Michelle, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, actually.
Good.
I'm embracing the time
Love
in
it.
a weird sense. So for a very long time, I worked at a job where it was very much, I completely put my identity dependent on my performance for work. And I became very much, if I didn't do X, Y, and Z, if I didn't commit myself 1,001%, if I didn't go above and beyond, then it was directly attached to my worth. And my learning lesson has been ongoing now for probably about like 10 years after leaving that job, to like every day I get less and less attached to this idea that my worth is directly connected to my output, or and so for the first week, that when everything sort of transitioned and I found out my job was kind of closing and a real fear set in, I just shut off. I didn't sit at my desk. I cooked a lot. There was a lot of baking. There was a lot of like soup making. And I just kind of, I don't know, I was trying to process it, but not really doing very well at it. And then we had a conversation, like Anne and I had a conversation, and it was just like, okay, get your schedule back. And I was like, all right, I can handle that. Put my schedule back. And kind of since then, I've been trying not to see it as the travesty that it is outside, but really trying to see the gift that it is inside, like in my house, with my family, with my kids. My husband's home at the same time, and I'm a bit more of an introverted person anyway, so I kind of relish little bits of time where I don't have to go out and see a ton of people. I miss my clients, but I'm really trying to not feel the stress about everything, and feel, I guess, safe in my own. I'm trying to sort of take the time to say, like, and it's funny that you say your spiritual self says that we asked for it, because my husband and I both, in two separate occasions, about 2 to 3 months ago, like we both had profound conversations about saying, oh, I just, I don't spend enough time with the kids, and I hate working on Saturdays. Like, I love my job, hate working on Saturdays. And it was just like, now I got time with the kids and I'm not working on a Saturday. And so I was like, apparently I put that out into the universe, and the universe was like, all right, girl, I'm giving you I'm giving you some time at home with the kids, and guess what? You don't have to work on a Saturday.
Exactly. So I know, like, how many of us who overschedule have said, oh my God, I just need like 3 weeks of nothing.
Yeah. And the world, and then that's presented. And I painted like my kids' rooms, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I saw it was on my stressful task to do. Like that was in the back of my mind saying, you need to paint the kids' rooms, you need to paint the kids' rooms, you need to get your house in order, you need to do this. But I enjoyed doing it. Like I didn't do it because I felt compelled to do it. I enjoyed the time. I realized that I really love painting, and that it was super relaxing, and that I put on classical music while I was painting like a cityscape in the background, and I loved it. And it was like, it was so refreshing to be able to do something and enjoy it, and not see it as like on the list to check it off, and the stress associated with finishing it. So I guess I'm kind of, The only thing that really freaks me out is when I go out, but I'm kind of trying to embrace everything else.
And that's normal. It's a weird world out there, right? But what I'm really hearing from you, Michelle, is you're leaning into it. You're leaning into it.
And
And
going with the flow. Who else said going with the flow? Somebody else said going with the flow.
Lisa goes,
But yeah.
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 So all of this is surrender, right? This is an act where we either fight or we surrender. And I don't mean fight in a good way. I mean fight it. And I think we're being called to surrender and give in and be like, you know what? This is what's happening.
Another important thing I did too, sorry to interrupt you, Ed. Another important thing I did was I stopped watching news and I stopped reading stories and I just stopped. I did, like, if I see the big, because it's everywhere. And it's like, I watch my cake decorating videos on Facebook to chill out, but I don't, like, the news was just so, I don't know if any of you get anxious about, like, the news just was propelling my anxiety and, like, my fear and just causing me to be everywhere, and I couldn't get under control emotionally, and it was like, I can't do it. I can't. So
I talked to someone about apps on their phone. Was it one of you guys?
that was me. Well, we were talking about shutting off, unfollowing people and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, it's different for everybody, but that I even do that. Like, I don't get notifications on my phone even before this COVID thing, because I don't want to be a slave to like a notification, right? So I'm an iPhone user. If you have an iPhone, you can turn off the sounds for things. You can turn off the badges. So when you look at your screen, there's no little freaking red things that have a number, right? You have to open it and be like, get mail and see the mail. You have to intentionally do that. And I do that on purpose because I don't want to be looking at my phone and being like, oh, I got an email. Oh, I got an email. Oh, I got a text. Oh, Facebook. You know what I mean? And some of my clients even, maybe Michelle, we talked about this, like, delete Facebook, because if it's on your phone, right? Because then how easy is it to scroll? If you want to use, you can still have Facebook, have it on your computer, and then you have to intentionally go there and like, this is what I'm doing. Right? You're not scrolling and then you're like, oh my God, someone just like posted the new stats on COVID, like while I'm pooping, and then you're freaked out about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that creating that boundary for yourself and how much you're going to intake is really wise, Michelle. And I've been doing that too, because I love the news and I'm usually like a 2 times a day watcher. And I just watch it once now. And even then I'm just like, you know.
But it's not that's because it's like saturated with this whole situation. Like, there's no happy stories about the dog that got adopted and, you know, the new people that are opening up their new show. Like, it's just all this, and it's about, you know, updating you on deaths and updating you on, and it's just like
Heavy.
very heavy. And like, the news is usually heavy. I mean, but I find that it doesn't serve. And like, maybe we talked about this last time, but it was just like, what is going to serve me? Is it going to serve me to read all these horror stories? It's like, I can't control it. I'm doing my part by staying home and being conscientious.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, resisting the urge to hug everybody, which is, I'm a hugger. So us huggers are struggling like really hard. Hardcore struggle for the huggers.
I don't know, Michelle, you have little kids too, but I don't know if you like go outside and you have to like contain your children because they just get so close to everyone.
And they just like even at the end of the street, like when we go for walks, it's just kind of like, and the kids is heartbreaking. Like, my kids are like, why can't we go to the park? And it's like, I think you posted one time about you almost crying or something when Sophie was asking about it. I literally cried, like explaining to my kids that they can't play with the kid next door because they just don't understand.
Yeah, they're too young. And yeah, I know my daughter's just like, all the parks are in quarantine, libraries in quarantine, and and she doesn't know what that means. She just knows it's closed, right? And I'm just like, oh my God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to affect their life. But I also heard somebody, and I won't, I know, I could talk forever, so I apologize. Jill, you gotta, you gotta have patience with this one. But like, I read something somewhere that said, It was sort of at the beginning of it all, like a little bit into it, and it said like it was like sort of like fast forward, you know, a father and a son are sitting and talking, and the father says, "Oh, don't you remember we had to do all these things, and there was all these shutdowns, and we couldn't serve the groceries," and the son's reply was, "You know what? I don't remember any of that. I remember playing with you all the time and reading stories and building forts and having adventures, and you were home, and you know, I remember having so much fun." And I thought, you know what? My kids need to know that they never need to feel this. So I'm in charge of what they feel and how they experience this time. And that's what I need to do, is I need to make it that time that they remember how much fun it was, or how it was great to have mommy and daddy home all the time. Mommy and daddy are not at each other's throats because they're self-contained. But, you know, and I just thought, okay, that to me was a huge perspective thing. And I was like, okay, that really means that what I make of it is their experience, and they're seeing it through.
And it's your experience too, right? We're responsible for our experience of this experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be hard, but it can be hard and painful, or it can be hard and kind of okay. You know. So does anyone else have anything to add about that, or questions? Or Jill, do you feel like we wrapped out about the productive piece enough? I feel like you mentioned something in the Facebook group sort of more about personal productivity that you're feeling too.
Yeah, so I know I told you my boss is a micromanager.
Yeah. Time for that.
And so like it's gotten like to the max now, and there's all these new protocols when clients ask for like financial aid, and it just seems like all the answers are going to be a no. So that's really frustrating for myself and the other rep out east. But yeah, like personally too, like I feel like I just sit at the desk all day and stare at the computer, and then there's nothing extra getting done. So again, it's like seeing on Facebook, people are like, "Oh, I'm taking a painting class," or "Oh, I'm doing this." It's like, "Oh, I have to sit at my desk till 4:00 so the boss doesn't video chat me at the last minute and see me painting." Like,
So, well, first of all, you're here. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty extra. It's pretty good. And you've been working out. It's pretty good, right? So I think that's common. I think we're all feeling. I even said that to my husband a couple weeks ago. I was like, I'm not doing anything with this time.
Yeah.
We don't have to. You don't have to. That's a completely self-imposed. Like, who says you have to write your novel right now, or you know what I mean? You can, sure, if you want to, if that feels good. But I think this is actually a perfect time. Those of you who've been here for a while, we've talked about like going by feel, right? Using energy when you have it, taking rest when you need it. What a perfect time to practice that, because you have space to practice it, right? So you wake up in the morning, whether on your own or by your alarm, and then how do you feel? Who do you want to be today? What do you want to do? Do you want to be the type of person who is like really self-scheduled, and you know, writes 4 chapters of your book? If that truly feels good, great. Or does it feel good to give into this situation and have some space that you previously didn't have? And then being okay with it, because I don't think we're used to having space, most of us, right? Women especially, I would say. We just fill it.
I think we put too many expectations on ourselves. And it's just like, you know, like we're not worth it if we didn't do all the things and all that. And it's just like, we need to cut ourselves some slack, like enjoy the fact that we can, you know, or at least find the joy in the situation, and find the, you know, like I said, I painted the kids' rooms because I knew I wanted to do it, but then it became a thing I wanted to do, and I enjoyed doing it. But I definitely struggled with the whole productive thing too, like not wanting to, or like that association or feeling I'm productive. But I think that's things that we fabricate a little bit about what we should be doing, but it's like,
who says, right? So I don't know, Jill, if that's helpful to you, but the first step, which Anik is bang bang on all the time is self-awareness, right? You'll notice she catches herself, right? So you have the thought, oh shit, I'm just sitting here. What am I supposed to be doing? Okay, you can pragmatically ask yourself, am I actually supposed to be doing something right now? Like, am I supposed to be on a call? No. Okay, great. What do I feel? And if the next thought is like, oh, I have to be painting my house. Oh, interesting. And then you just kind of try to latch onto that, notice it, latch onto it. What is that about? Is that because you really want to paint your house, or is it because you saw someone else is painting their house and you're feeling a little, you're really not as good, right? So there's no wrong and right answers, but it's just beginning that self-awareness. And I honestly think this is a wonderful time to do that, because if we start to have self-awareness now, when we go back to normal life, hopefully we'll be used to it. And, maybe it will feel nice to have created a little bit of space. I don't know. Does that fit?
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing I did write this on the Facebook group is I've been waking up like angry or agitated.
Yeah.
And it's super annoying because I'm working Monday to Friday at the desk, doing all the things, and then I have the weekend to do whatever I want. That should be amazing. And it's like I'm so stressed out about the next week already that I can't seem to release it. So.
And is that because the week is existing in your home? Like, that's not...
I think maybe because it feels like it's like, yeah, I technically work from home, but I travel, but it's like it's right there instead of kind of put away a little bit. So
yeah. So that's I think that's a little bit of a practice of being present, which is harder for right now because we're always in the same place, right? There's very few. It's not like you're in Honolulu and you're like, oh, look at the ocean. You've been in your house for like 3 weeks. So it's a little harder to put your feet on the floor, look at the same four walls. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's normal to wake up a little bit agitated. And so then the practice is just, and it's okay. It's okay to feel agitated. We all feel it. We're all feeling it right now. It's just noticing it. And then what is it about? If it's about the next week, okay. So, what can you do to set yourself up for the next week? Is it nothing? Is it continuing to lie in your bed? Great, right? I think the agitation is, has anyone else been feeling agitated?
Yeah, especially last week when it was all rainy and yucky and,
oh my God, I know, that was painful.
Cold.
This has been showing up for me right now, and it's usually when things show up for us, it's a reflection of something that we need to see in ourselves. But I've been noticing it in other people too, right? People are so afraid that that things are coming up, like people are agitated with each other, and I think it's just like a collective agitation. You know what I mean? And so let's be really graceful and compassionate towards others who are probably also feeling agitated, and to ourselves, because we're feeling it. Yeah.
I have can I say one thing? Sorry, again, Michelle's talking again. Sorry, girls. I've worked from home for a really long time, just doing because I also do graphic design, and it is really, really hard to work from home. Like, it is really hard to sit at a desk for 7 to 8 hours a day and focus on your work when you're like, oh, the laundry, oh, the thing, and oh, I should put dinner on, and oh, I should do. It's really hard. It took me a really long time to do that. And the biggest thing, and I feel, because I remember when you're talking about being agitated, I used to be right pissed off to be at home. Like, I was just like, I'm pissed. I don't want to be here. I don't like it. I don't want to, I've been here all week sitting in this thing and doing the thing, and I just don't even want to be home. And now it's kind of like you have to be home and you have to be like in the same space. And the only thing that really kind of helped me do that was leave my workspace, like close the doors and don't go back into it, or put it somewhere where you can like walk away from it and then just like not feel like it's in your designated space. When I first started doing aesthetics, I worked at a little hair salon with these 4 hairdressers. It was like, if anybody's ever watched the movie Steel Magnolias, it was a little bit like that. Like they were all like, oh, put a little lipstick on, dear, you'll be fine. Like it was hilarious. But she told me she worked downstairs. The salon was downstairs and her house was upstairs. And I was like, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it? And she's like, once I come down those stairs, I don't go back up until it's time to go home. And she's like, and I make that distinction, and it's the only way you can survive. And I guess that kind of stuck with me. So it was like, I had it in my office, in my bedroom. I moved it out to this like separate space that I had, and I just closed the door, and that was it. So maybe it's like that, needing to define a new space, because your workspace was never at home, right? It was never really like an at-home workspace. So now it's like a whole new. And then plus we can't really go outside and do things like run away to HomeSense, which I know misses us all greatly.
I do miss HomeSense, because now you're home and you're like, I need something right there.
Never knew. You never knew you needed it.
Can't go browse.
Anyway, but it's hard to work from home, and it's hard to be on the computer at home and work from home, and especially when you're not used to, like, that your job is meant to be interacting with people, and you're meant to be interacting with kids, or you're, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's this digital platform and I feel super weird, and I have to.
Like, it's not the job you chose either, right?
No, and the lack of choice, that's another thing that came to me the other day, is that when I was talking to, it's not that I'm home, it's that I have no choice that I can go. Like, it was, for me, it was losing my choice. So it's like, I would be thrilled to be at home for 3 weeks. But it's the fact that I don't have the choice to go to HomeSense and do my little shop with a nice unsanitized cup of Starbucks to walk around with, right?
Yeah.
And that really affected me more than anything. I think it was the choice, or that I didn't have the choice to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Michelle, like I feel that so much right now, because I'm such an introvert and I'm always at home anyways.
Yeah.
But like for me being on quarantine, like I can't even go for a walk. So even that's taken away from me. And I find myself even to the point now where, like, when people walk by, I'm like, ooh, people. Whereas before I'm always like, oh, I don't want to be near people. Like, I'm such an introvert. But now I'm like just so excited to see people walking by. And like, I definitely think it's the choice thing, right? And I think that's something that's helping me with that, is like focusing on the positives. So for me, is I'm saying, I don't have the choice to go outside, but I have a backyard now, which I didn't have before because I was in a basement suite. So focusing on that and being able to go sit outside and knowing that that's so much better than it would have been if I was in my previous situation, or like, oh, I can't go to HomeSense, but hey, I have time to paint my rooms and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think the choice being taken away really sucks, but I think focusing on the positive is helping me a lot.
Absolutely. And we are safe, right? In our prospective homes, we are safe.
Yeah. And like, there's so much in so many parts of the world.
Exactly, right? Like, it's really it's a blessing to us. So yes, I think it's normal. So don't judge yourself when you're like, oh, quarantine, oh, self-isolation. That's normal. It's okay. We're not being brats about it. It's real. But yes, perspective. I am loving this. Should we talk about fitness? Or not really?
we got 5 minutes. Let's talk about fitness.
I'll say I have time. I'll say I just wanted to. Usually we kind of go around, but I think this is what's important right now. I'm really happy to talk about it. Oh, hi, Charlotte.
Sorry.
That's okay.
She snuck away from Daddy. You can mute me if you want.
Only if I need to. So let's just do a little check-in. And if your check-in is still like, I'm struggling with productivity, I'm struggling with feeling isolated, that's cool. That's what we'll talk about. It doesn't have to be about fitness, but I just want to make sure I give you guys what you need. So, so Anik, how are you doing? I know you're always solid.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing your workouts, so that helps. I'm actually kind of enjoying those more than I'm doing my own. So that's.
Oh, my live ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying it too. I have to apologize. My husband's schedule has changed because of all this, of course. So it's just weird times this week, so I'm not doing this week, but I'll get back to it next week.
It's okay. I've got workouts to do. I just
No,
was, you know, I was gonna do. Yeah, was a bit unmotivated, I would say, over spring break, our spring break time. So I'm back on that again a little bit, and I feel like it just kind of, you know, it's ebb and flow. It kind of goes and then it comes back, and it goes and comes back. It never really ever goes away, so that's good. Just trying to figure out my week is gonna look like for next week, for this week. So that's really part of it, and for my kids too, trying to get them sorted, and yeah, so what that's going to look like and how I'm going to fit all the other stuff into it. So
yeah, I think
care of my
that's
mom.
really, if that's your personality, that a schedule works for you, I think that's really key. And I tried to start a bit of a thread in the group for it because I think it was Robin who she had like some rockin' schedule going on with her workouts and homeschooling. So I want you guys to, you know, share and talk about it because again, this is not a situation we've been in before, and it's very possible someone has thought of something that we haven't thought of or making things work, right? So
I'm trying to keep it like schedule-y, but not like
rigid.
Schedule. Yeah. Not like 8:30 I need to be here, but
and you know what? That's a gift too. What a gift that there's no punishment for being late. We don't have to get in our cars. Like, let's just enjoy it. Right?
My kids are loving that part so far, but
Yeah.
is a downfall to it too, right? Because you kind of get out of that routine, and once it comes back, then how do we get back into it? But that's a whole different can of worms at that point.
Yeah, let's don't worry about it.
Too far ahead.
Because we don't know when that's happening or what it's gonna look like, and we can't control it at all.
No, trying not to. It's the control piece. I think it's the choice and the control. Those two are kind of battling for me right now.
Totally. Yes, I love that. A battle between choice and control.
Yeah. So.
And that's kind of it's kind of like what we were talking about that we like kind of asked for this, right? Like how often are we like, I just need a little more, you know, I just need a little bit more choice, a little bit more option. Now you have too many options, and we have to like reel it back in a little bit.
I saw a meme the other day said, now I know that I really didn't want to paint my house or something like that, because if I have time and I'm still not doing it, and I'm like,
yeah. I've been talking to I think I've talked to all my one-on-one clients about that, because my people who were struggling to work out are still struggling to work out. It's not because you didn't have time. It's because you didn't want to effing do it. You know? And for me, I was telling Jen, our other client Jen, the other day, like, I'm notorious for not putting away my laundry. Still not putting away my laundry. Definitely have time to put away my laundry. Just don't want to do it.
I think it's a good adjustment. You know what is important then. You know what the issue is. It's not the time. It's not, you know. It's
what a gift.
Mother Nature's way of teasing that out for us. I don't know.
Yeah, so. Spot on.
Otherwise, you know, plugging along, just trying to get things sorted and get into sort of a new normal, I guess. And then from there, we'll.
So is that the goal for you this week? Is the schedule piece?
Just knowing where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing for work, and and for the kids, whether I'm going to be home or whether I have to go in, whether I'm.
There's that.
Because there's a piece of where we may have to go into the school and what that's going to look like, and there's some stuff going on with whether there can be kids, there cannot be kids. There's a whole. So that's going to kind of change things for us, and so so that's going to. You know, there's some decisions and things that have to be made in that point, but so I'll be fine. It'll work out. Just like you said, just have to let it go, and it'll be what it'll be. So
especially with things like that, where other people are in control of making the decisions.
Nothing I can do.
Nothing we can do. We got to let it go, and then again, give grace and compassion. Right? People are making decisions for us who've never had this information, never made these decisions ever before. Right? So we can become very frustrated with what's happening on the outside, but we also have to understand, you know, they have the same amount of experience that we do.
Yeah.
In this lifetime. So.
Yeah, no, and luckily I have a good relationship with my principal, so we get along quite well. But I wouldn't want to be her right now for sure. Like you're stuck between everybody's parents and teachers and the admin and then this district and government's telling you to do one thing, and I wouldn't. No,
I don't
pay me enough.
I don't want to be in charge of anything right
now. No.
Nothing at all. Okay, awesome. Thanks.
I'm good. Thank you.
And since we're on the EA train, Lisa, How's it been going? I know you got back to your workouts last. I knew you were sick for so long. I was really feeling for you. So you're
Yeah, I
feeling
was
better?
sick for about 7 weeks, so it was brutal.
Oh man. And was it? Did you have bronchitis or what? You're not sure.
It wasn't bronchitis, but I had this cough and it wasn't going away. And I ended up on an inhaler to help me get it to go away. So it helped quite a bit. But it was just a brutal cough that wasn't going anywhere.
Hmm.
So no pneumonia, no bronchitis, just a brutal cough. And yeah,
Do you think it was COVID related?
I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it. And when I got it, I mean, yes, BC had already gotten their first case, but it really hadn't been widespread at that point, right? Like it would have been pretty impressive for me to have gotten it at that point.
Got it. Okay. So what's your plan this week, or how are you feeling? What are you kind of hoping for? I know you're adjusting to going back to work, maybe going back to work.
Well, I'm back to work online.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, and so I did some productive things today, which felt good. And we had a team meeting and stuff like that, a staff meeting online, and got some stuff done for my student, which was nice. And the teacher and I and my student and her mom were talking for a bit online, and that felt good to touch base with them and see how they were doing. So I felt good about that today. I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. But I woke up this morning at like 6:30, went out for a walk with my husband, came home. That was lovely. I've never had the opportunity to really do that before. You know, it's not like I have to go to work. So I knew I had a 9 o'clock meeting, and that was all on the computer, and you know, there's no video or anything like that. So
Wear your robe.
yeah, it didn't matter what I was wearing.
Yeah.
So there's some freedom in that.
Yeah.
And so, but I did really enjoy the walk this morning. I did really enjoy exercising last week. I think it was on Thursday or Friday that I did that. And I look forward to doing that again.
Good.
But I walked yesterday as well. So just getting out and enjoying the sunshine again. I've been sick for so long, and then I was going out for walks at the beginning, but then they said like nobody that's sick should be going out. And I'm like, oh. So I locked myself in the house, and that was kind of it, right? So now that I'm feeling better, I'm like, I'm going out for walks.
Yeah. Okay, good. So your goal is kind of to hit that one workout again, figure out what work is going to look like. Yeah. Okay. And Jill's tracking her food for us.
I know. So that actually, it's amazing how that alone has made a difference. Like for real, I'm like, oh, I can't post if I eat this whole cup of sour soothers. I'm gonna count out 6, and I'm gonna have 6. And my husband, he's such a brat. He's like, did you take a photo of that?
Great, that's good support, because often we forget.
He's very supportive. So yeah, so that's been really good. And then I have really got into the workouts you wrote for me, which is great because I do them after work, and it's such a good release.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Good. You're killing it, Jill. I've been looking at your food, and we'll talk about it, but you're doing great. You're doing great. I didn't mean we'll talk about it in a bad way. I just don't need to talk about it right now.
I'm like, oh, the Easter Purdy's hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, it's, my favorite thing about doing this, and a few of these ladies have done it for me too, is the mindfulness, as you say, the mindfulness, right? Because you just have to have a little thought, like, which I love, because at the very least, you're like, I am eating this.
Exactly.
Right? Which is a positive thing. Yeah. Awesome. Keep it up. Mandy, are you cross-stitching?
I totally am.
Awesome.
I'm not very good at staying still for very long.
That's okay. Well, it seems like you're being pretty productive over there, so you should cut yourself some slack.
It's fun to get back to.
Yeah, enjoy it. So how's everything going for you?
I obviously haven't been exercising, which, let's be honest, like even before all this happened, I was not the most consistent exerciser. But I actually find myself now wanting to exercise, but I still feel like I shouldn't. But I've been focusing on a lot of self-care, a lot of rolling, stretching. I'm going to do your stretching, your myofascial release thing, which would be good. I'm actually kind of happy about this because it's making me do more self-care than I normally do. And I'm still sore, but I'm not as sore as I would be normally at this point without it. So it's making me realize how much more I can maintain myself on my own if I put the effort in.
Yeah, awesome. Good. I love that. Yeah, the self-care piece is huge. Like, first of all, we don't want to get sick. So, we should be eating well and sleeping well, but it's also for our mental health too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Just let me know if you need anything from me workout wise, okay? Or whatever you need.
Sounds
Okay. Michelle, what's up? What's your so your goal 2 weeks ago when we chatted was you were giving yourself some grace for a few days, right? To just do nothing, screw COVID, and then I think your plan was to get your schedule back, right? And then that's where you're at now. You're kind of in a groove. I muted you. Sorry, when Charlotte was there. Okay.
No, that's all right. I would mute myself with the children. Can I just put you on mute, Char, just for 5 for mommy? Yeah, no, it was dealing with the tragedy and the craziness and the chaos, and now it's settling into a routine, and yeah.
So what's your goal like this week, say?
My goal for this week? It's definitely to maintain my schedule, and I don't know what else, really. I should be working out though, for sure. Like, you're just like, I don't want to put away my clothes, and I'm like, damn it, I totally don't want to work. I'm totally avoiding it.
Everyone has their thing.
Everyone has their thing. I don't know if it's a fear-based thing or if it's just like I've been definitely my diet, speaking of like the food pictures, I was just like, I thought about that today actually, as I was eating like ice cream at 11 a.m. I was like, probably wouldn't be awesome if I had to take pictures of everything I'm eating right now. So today when I was actually grocery shopping right before this call at Walmart, gloved up, Lysol down, and I definitely made choices that were better than the last few times I've grocery shopped, because I definitely had some emotional eating happening and some fear eating, and there was definitely cookies in the house, girls, that did not last. There was a Girl Guides incident that was like, before they sold off those cookies, I was like, I need to secure some boxes here, which went rather quickly. But now I think that part is going to be under control. There was definitely more vegetable purchases than boxed cookies. So yeah, so I think actually my goal is probably going to be to get a little bit more on track about the mindful eating this week, because I feel like I definitely had some time of, I think I made like banana bread 3 times, although I did give some away, but I still made like 3 rounds. Okay. You can only have so many bananas going bad at one time.
That's my struggle. I can't keep bananas in the house because everybody eats them and they go bad if you buy too many, and then banana rations till someone goes grocery shopping in 2 weeks. And yeah,
I know. And then one week you buy them and everybody like devours them, and then they're like, where's my bananas? And then the next week, so you're like, oh, I should buy extra bananas, and you buy extra bananas, and people are like, I'm not really feeling bananas. That was last week's favorite. And you're like, But so I think food is definitely a thing, and I should probably relook at that workout that you had posted. I'm horrible with the workout part.
Hopefully you and I can talk about that.
Yeah.
And tomorrow if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, focus, non-emotional eating focus.
Yeah, and we can, or maybe next time we chat, or we can talk about it in the group if you guys have been struggling with the emotional eating piece, because there's a lot of emotions going on. We're all at home where the food is. Maybe we can talk about that in the group and create some goals around it. So that would look like Michelle, how you're saying, if eating mindfully is your goal for the week, you can do lots of things. You can do like the photo taking that Jill is doing. You could just journal it if you prefer that. You can, intentionally meal plan one meal of the week, or know?
Meal planning. Talk about the perfect opportunity to be forced into meal planning.
Yeah. Really, I feel like I've just let it go because I'm like, we're here. What
Yeah.
do I have to plan for? We're gonna eat.
But like with the grocery shopping, like with the restricted time, it's just like, and we're not eating out. Like we're saving a fortune by not eating out.
Us
Even
too.
little things, right? Like I drove by Mucho Burrito the other day and I almost cried a little bit. I was like,
Yeah. So,
so
hidden
meal
bliss.
planning.
Okay, awesome, Michelle. Is there anything else? You guys have any other questions? Can I support you in any way? You feeling good? And I want you to know that each other are here. Know that this community is here. Like, I feel like nothing you say around this pandemic is going to be new information to everyone. So everyone is going through it, right? So just feel that you can lean on each other. If you're not already, add each other all on Facebook. I know lots of you are. And if you have questions, you need support, put it in the group. I'm trying to be good about doing Sunday check-ins because I want to hear from you guys. And so that gives us an opportunity to chat. On Wednesday night, we're having a call with Andrea again. We had a call with her in the fall, Andrea Ferguson of the Fit Life Method. She's a life coach. She's really wonderful. Jill posted a couple awesome questions. So we're probably going to have some great conversations. What was your question, Jill, that you asked her mostly? I can look in the group.
It was like sitting with the feeling.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell her 100% that's what we're talking about because that's what I've been working on personally, and that's what lots of my clients have been working on. It's so hard, man. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about sitting with the feeling, which is super helpful for emotional eating, feeling useless and not productive, and motivating yourself to work out. Bada boom. All right, so that's in here at 7:45 on Wednesday. And then I'll see you guys here for the group in 2 weeks. Okay, so if you need anything, let me know. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful night. Okay, I'll see you later.
Thanks, Anne.
Bye.
Thanks for the laugh.
Feel better, Mandy.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.